happens, Lord. Bro, Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. What? Crazy. 60 mil for 1 year. Happens, Lord. Currently sitting in traffic down in DC. Happens, Lord. All right, folks. We back in the lab. We back in the studio. I'm Rob. This is the Captain's Law Podcast, home for your sports, primarily NBA and NFL. Culture perspective, which really means whatever else I feel like talking about, and conversations beyond sports is when I just want to talk about stuff beyond sports, or when I have guests. That's my segment. Welcome in, man. This is episode 12, man. If you ain't listened to the other 11, go ahead back and check them out. It's available everywhere. You know what I'm saying? You can watch or listen to a podcast. So this is a podcast and this is a YouTube show. It's both of them. You know what I'm saying? All the links is everywhere. I'll put all that stuff for y'all. Anyway, I'm glad y'all here, man. So topics for the night, man. We're gonna do weekend recap. You know what I'm saying? I know it's Tuesday, but it's weekend recap, man. I know y'all are dying to hear. You know what I'm saying? What I did. Then we got a legend that passed last week. We're gonna do some NFL around the league. We're going to do some NBA around the league. I'll just touch on March Madness a little bit. I didn't watch it. I'm sorry. And I got my final conversation is called To My Creatives. How's your health? All right. So I think that'll be dope. All right. So let's get straight into it, man. So we're going to start with Friday. So Friday, every other Friday is my AWS day, which means alternate work schedule if you don't work in the federal government. How does that work? Pretty much it means that I work 9-hour days. And every time I work an extra hour, when it gets to that every other Friday of the pay period, I'm off. You know what I'm saying? So one Friday, I only work 8 hours. The Friday after that, it's I'm off. So that's how it works. So usually when I have my AWS day, my wife teleworks every Friday too. So we use that time to just do us, right? So that means that we wake up in the morning, you know what I'm saying? We drop the kids off at school, we go to the gym, or we go to the gym, do our thing, we come back, we have some breakfast. You know what I mean? We just have our time, man. We chill, you know what I'm saying? We try not to run no errands because that's usually what them extra days turn into. It turn into errand days. So we try to just chill, have a solid breakfast, you know what I'm saying? Catch up on some old shows, whether it's her Ratchet TV or my garbage TV, and we chill, we take naps, we lay up. You know what I mean? We do what married people do. You know what I'm saying? And we do all that before about 2:45, before my son been in the corner and come in the house, and then the day is over. After that, I hate to say it like that, but look, the kids is kidding, so they do tend to take up a lot of our time. So after that, man, we just chilled. You know what I'm saying? This deal we need to do. Got some dinner. We usually eat out on the weekends. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying not to eat after 8 o'clock. We'll talk about that too. Um, but and that was it. So Saturday, we had to do some setting up in the house. So we setting up for a little event. My daughter had she had a late birthday present. Her birthday was on March 5th. She's 10 years old now. Holy shit. Um, so we had like a workshop at the house where we had a lady by Janelle, a friend of my wife. She came through and she pretty much gave a workshop on how to make lip gloss. So my daughter and about 12 of her little friends came over, and the parents too. Shout out to the parents because they helped too. We needed that. We set up shop, you know what I'm saying, in the living room, had about, a couple tables, some chairs, had some little Chick-fil-A platter come through catering, and they made lip gloss. All right. And her name is her Instagram is Zenobia by Janelle. Look that up on Instagram. She did really well. She was cool. I made a video on my it's on both my IGs. That's Marbury _ amazing, and my photography page, which is Marbury Media. Look that up if you need, if you got an event, you need something done, man, holler at me. I'm always available. So definitely want to give a shout out again to that's her Instagram handle is Zenobia by Janelle. All right, that's ZenobiaByJanelle. Sorry, I had to look down. All right, it's been a long day, but dope, dope class, man. And shout out to the parents, man, who bought their kids and they, who bought their kids and just drop them off, who dropped them, who came with them, stayed in there, and then chimed in when it needed to because it was getting a little hectic. We spilled a couple of things on the floor, whatever, but we was good though. So once that was done, this is about 12. So once that was done, man, just chilled out for the rest of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like I got me some PlayStation time, man. So trying to cut back on that PlayStation time. I'll talk about that too, man. That's it's detrimental. So going into Sunday, I went on my first motorcycle ride of the year, group ride. So got a guy that I met, man, just a gentleman that I see every day when I'm walking to work. And he had seen me one day, I'm saying, on my motorcycle, I'm saying, I ride a cruiser, 2014 Victory Cross Country. And he seen me, riding by one day with the music blast and always keeping music blast. And it's more so for awareness / I want to be seen. It is what it is. But the next day I was walking, I'm saying, getting off the train. He seen me. He was like, "Hey, that was you riding?" And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Man, you ride with some folks?" He's like, "You in a club or something?" I was like, "Nah, I ain't in no club. I used to be in a club years ago. Them days over." So we exchanged information. He was like, if I got some rides and stuff going on, I'll send them to you. So I was like, bet. So he just happened to send me a ride that was happening that weekend. It was a ride out to I want to say it wrong, Eldenburg, somewhere it's like close to Sykesville. And it was like a bikes and breakfast type joint, man. We met up at Butt Crack 8 a.m. on a Sunday. And this was, Sunday, it was like 80 something degrees, but it didn't hit like 80 something degrees till like the afternoon. So when we met up, it was like 50 degrees outside. So, I'm like, all right, it's chilly. So me, my other two men, and my new buddy, what I'm saying, we linked up and we rode out there. So probably about a 45-minute ride, and good ride, man. Like we was really floating out there the whole time, probably doing about 60, 70, 80, no traffic. Got out to the spot, man. It probably was about 100 bikes in the parking lot, man. Breakfast was solid. It was like a little bar. It was nice, man. Some nice bikes out there, It's been a minute since I've been to a little function. It's been a minute since I done rode, 30, 45 minutes outside of sitting in traffic coming from work. So I thought that was cool, man. And just really enjoyed that time. And, same 45 minute to an hour back home. And then I was cool for the day, man. And then, I kind of sat around and low for the day. I could have been a little bit more productive, but it's like my Sunday. So, like, some days it's okay to not be productive. You know what I'm saying? You pick that one day out of the week. It's usually Sunday for everybody. Sunday, that day where you just want to reset and you want to chill. So I ain't really do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I should have recorded, Sunday, but I wasn't really ready to go. So sorry. But that's the end of my weekend, man. So anyway, let's get into the topics, man. Where my bell at? Man, I know this may be old news for somebody, but it's still hurt a little bit to me, man. So Chuck Norris, man, legendary Delta Force, Walker, Texas Ranger himself, man, passed away, 86 years old, man. He died on March 19th in Hawaii, man. Cause of death is unknown. All we know for now is that he was surrounded by family. So I'm pretty sure they'll reveal the cause of death later on, man. But man, Chuck Norris, bro, like I listen, I hope that he ain't got no crazy, behind closed door shit going on. Because Chuck Norris was probably a pivotal person in everybody's life, man. Whether you was watching his shows, you know what I'm saying? Whether you watch him on Walker, Texas Ranger, I too watched a few of them joints, not by choice, but I was watching them. I was just like, he just gonna roundhouse kick everybody, huh? With them heavy ass cowboy boots on. But or whether you was consuming, his memes and stuff online. I was really there for the memes, dog. And just if you've been living under a rock, just a small, bio or whatever. So Chuck Norris was an 80s action movie star, right? He was in a shit ton of movies. I don't know when this was back when, where the TVs was real fuzzy and the back was big and you had to have an antenna to line that shit up. So some of his notable movies, man, just a few. Delta Force, you know what I'm saying? He was in that. Missing in Action. And of course, Walker, Texas Ranger. You know what I'm saying? Known for toughness, discipline, and, his martial arts. He was, roundhouse kicking from beginning to end. You know what I mean? And even then, like, he was still, when he was really old, like, he was in, like, Dodgeball, you know what I'm saying, making an appearance in there. Like, he just was Chuck Norris. He just one of them people. He was like a national treasure. Like, I got a handful of people that I feel like are like national treasures. And when I mean that, I say, like, these are like people who, like, no matter what they do, like, they can do no wrong. So I would say Chuck Norris, Snoop Dogg, you know what I'm saying, Shaq. I mean, whether we want to say it or not, Kevin Hart. And who else? Who else? Keanu Reeves. Like, these are just people that, like, how could you not like them? You know what I'm saying? Um, so now to kick it off, before I move to the next topic, I'm gonna read some. Sorry, I'm gonna read just a few of the Chuck Norris jokes, because that's what he was really known for. Outside of the movies and all that, the Chuck Norris jokes was funny because Chuck Norris was always viewed as like invincible. So I'm just gonna go through a couple of Chuck Norris jokes that I just thought was funny. I may not laugh right now when I'm reading them, but I was laughing like shit before I wrote them down. So all right. So all right. First joke says Chuck Norris once kicked a horse in the face. We now call those animals giraffes. I'm gonna give you a second, get yourself together. All right. Give you 5 more seconds. I'm going to the next one. Okay, cool. All right, next one. It says Chuck Norris says Chuck Norris uses pepper spray to season his meat. Pause. All right. Next one. It says Chuck Norris built the cabin he was born in. Nothing? Okay. All right. It says Chuck Norris is the only person who can slam a revolving door. And my last one, it says Chuck Norris's tears cure cancer. Too bad he never cries. Hey, when I was in the military, these joints were like golden, bro. So may he rest in peace, man. So on the sports, man. On the football. Breaking news. Seahawks wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba gets a new deal, 4 years, $168 million and $120 million guaranteed. Clap it up for my man. Woohoo! Well deserved, man. Well deserved. Look, listen. I'm really happy with the NFL is now, man, because it was at one point they wasn't really paying. The only people they was paying was quarterbacks. And now, like, everybody really getting to that chicken, man. So congratulations to him. He was number one receiver last year. You know what I'm saying? And what a time to do it when it's time to get paid. So I'll be curious to see what he do with the Seahawks next year. You know, losing your offensive coordinator and losing your running back. So I'll be curious to see what they do. Also, Travis Kelce signs a 3-year, $54 million to stay with the Chiefs. Didn't see that coming. All this talk about possible retirement. He's been in the league, 14 years? So I don't know if he's going to do them whole 3. But I think that's cool, though, man, that he come in with the Chiefs and he's going to leave with the Chiefs, man. I think that's cool. You don't see too much of that these days. A lot of these players be, in and out. So 54 mil. I didn't look and see how much was guaranteed, but I think that's good. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? If he can last another 3, that he can last. And I just seen this. I didn't have this in my notes, but I just seen this before I started. Joe 10,000-year-old Flacco signs a 1-year deal with the Bengals. I mean, I guess we can clap for that. God damn, that boy keep a job, don't he? Boy, keep a job. Joe Burrow, don't fuck it up. Flacco gonna be right up in there. But yeah, congratulations to him too, man. I wish he'd go ahead and hang it up. But shit, I guess they see something we don't. He'd come in here and there. He'd come in and give you that game winning drive or something. He can still win games, man. But I just think he just ain't really been popped. That's why they keep holding him. But Next, man. So you had an NFL flag football game, man, that over this past weekend. It was in San Francisco. This is a caveat to the Super Bowl or the Pro Bowl, I guess, but I guess they pushed it back. So I ain't watch it, so I'm just reading the stats, and I did see a few highlights. So the NFC won the game 66-52. So if you don't know how flag football works, this is the 7-on-7. And you get a couple of players and they just playing flag football. You tie the little joints around your waist and you run past, you got to yank it off. Ain't no tackle, ain't no pushing, ain't no bumps, ain't none of that. It's just offense and just some offense and some basic defense, maybe interceptions. You ain't tackling nobody. So you had some MVPs for this game. You had George Pickens had 3 catches, 39 yards, and 1 touchdown. I don't know how long the field was. I'm gonna say maybe the field was probably like 50 yards. I'm gonna say that. Defensive MVP was Antoine Whitfield Jr. He had some interceptions. So the NFC quarterbacks, I might be missing one, but you had Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, and Jaden Daniels. And Tom Brady tried to play my man, but my man Jaden threw that dart to the end zone. Then you had AFC quarterbacks. You had Joe Burrow, Joe Flacco, Shador, and Tom Brady. Y'all see Joe Burrow out there trying to do spin moves? I said, boy, you trying to tear one of them ACL, MCLs up again, huh? Boy, don't learn. So this was a high scoring game. No defense as expected, but it was still competitive. Like, to me, that shit was, from what I saw online, I felt like that was still like just as entertaining. It's more entertaining than the NBA All-Star game. I mean, we can start there. I don't care how you hit the little format up. That last game, it was bullshitting. So, but the NFC has won 4 straight times with this new flag football format. So, I mean, if this is all we can get, you know what I'm saying, as far as like them like actually competing, then I guess we can get. All right. Any questions? Hit me up. On to the NBA. 2 more. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk some playoff brackets up. But before we get into that, what did I tell y'all yesterday? What did I tell y'all last week? What was gonna happen with Trae Young? What did I tell y'all the Wizards was gonna do? Somehow, some way, they was going to end up shutting him down for the rest of the season. Now, I don't know how many games is left because the playoffs start in less than a month. But Trae Young is out with a quad contusion and lower back irritation. Come on, bro. Y'all ain't see this shit coming, dog. I seen it. I know y'all didn't agree with me, but I seen it, bruh. At this point, as what I said before, if he is not playing the entire game, what's the point in him playing? If you're only going to put him in for less than 20 minutes, what's the point? It's towards the end of the season. This is supposed to be your star player. Instead of just letting him go out and there just test the waters and see what's going on. I bet you one thing. I bet you if he would have played full participation, playing 30 something minutes a game, we wouldn't have lost as many games. We wouldn't be 16 game losing streak if y'all would have let him play. So you really just played in our face to try to give us a little hope or a little glimmer, a little sample of what's to come next year. But it was no point in him playing for him to be out. You know what I'm saying? Keyshawn George is out. Like, bruh, tell you something. Fuck around and don't get this number 1 or number 2 pick. Fuck around and not get a top 3 pick. Y'all done did all this for nothing. Y'all the laughing stock of the league for a draft pick. And y'all best be firing that whole coaching staff after the season too, and sell the fucking team. Ted Leonis, y'all don't really want to win, bro. All this for a draft pick. I'm telling you, bro. I'm gonna go fucking berserk if we don't get number 1, number 2, or number 3 pick, and they better be fucking dogs too. Not the shit we just got. So, but anyway, I'm done with the Wizards, man. So let's talk playoffs. All right. So playoffs start on April 18th. All right. The play-in tournament starts the 14th to the 17th. So let's just talk some scenarios real quick. Let's just say if the season ended today, this will be the first round matchups, right? So first round matchup will be Detroit Pistons versus the play-in winner. All right. Remember, Cade Cunningham is out. We ain't got no timeline when he coming back. So damn, I hope he can get back in there because the Pistons bust their ass this year and they can really do something in the playoffs. All right. So the second matchup will be Boston Celtics versus play-in winner. What? Okay. Then you got the New York Knicks versus Atlanta Hawks. I didn't even know Atlanta was doing nothing this year. You got Cleveland Cavaliers versus Toronto Raptors. All right. The teams that are in the play-in right now, 76ers, Orlando Magic, Miami Heat, and the Charlotte Hornets. The Hornets that made a crazy little comeback, man. And LaMelo little barely jumping jump shot is hitting. All right, so that'll be interesting. I'm definitely going to be tapped in on the play-in. So on the Western side, first round matchups, yeah, Oklahoma City versus play-in winner. You got San Antonio Spurs versus play-in winner. San Antonio is number 2, and they not that far behind Oklahoma. Then you got the Lakers versus Minnesota. Ooh, ooh. Man, I'm telling you, so I'm gonna be up late every night. That series is gonna be insane. Listen, difference maker, Nas Reed. Nas Reed, you better go the fuck off. That's my favorite tall ass player. Then you got the Houston Rockets versus Denver Nuggets. That's gonna be good too. KD and Jokic going at it. And you got teams in the play-in. You got Phoenix Suns, LA Clippers, Portland Trailblazers, and Golden State Warriors. I don't know what Golden State do. I'd be surprised if Golden State make it. Steph's still out. I don't know. But right now, the two hottest teams in the NBA, Detroit Pistons, Oklahoma City Thunder. Please, let somebody get Oklahoma up out of here. I ain't trying to see another flopping ass free throw merchant NBA finals. I don't want these niggas to winning it. Like, I ain't saying they not good. Like, Oklahoma, they legit. You know what I'm saying? They got a mob. SGA is cooking. I just don't like the way they play. I don't like that. Like, this is the type of this is, I mean, it's bad enough. This is the type of basketball that like we stuck with now, and there looks to be no end. I wish I had that clip, man, of Richard Jefferson. He was going to fuck off on the NBA, talking about pretty much how soft they was with all of this shit they getting, and they making all this money, man, and they still just not really playing like they need to play. Too dependent upon the fouls and the rest days and load management, all that shit. But it's too early for me to predict who's gonna be in the finals. I just hope that it's not Oklahoma. I would love to see Detroit. I would love to see Detroit. I always want to see, every year I want to see a team that didn't go, unless it's the Wizards. Whenever they start winning, they can go forever. But I would love to see Detroit go to the finals. I don't know if they're gonna win. And I'd love to see Minnesota go to the finals. I can always dream, but I think Anthony Edwards, he on the cusp though. He on the cusp. He still a few, one or two missing pieces, but they on the cusp though. So that's my two teams I would like to see. What I would like to, what's gonna happen, we'll see. But let me know y'all thoughts on that, man. Let me know y'all thoughts on NBA playoffs. It's around the corner, man. So let's lock the fuck in. Let's get to my last segment. All right, so my last segment is called. Let me get some water real quick. Let me get some water. Y'all know I wasn't even going to record tonight, man. I was just going to say forget it, to skip this week, man. But I had to dig deep, man. Pause. Um, my final segment is called creators. How's your health? All right. Now, when I say creators, I'm also talking about people who kind of fit the description for what I got going on. So me, I'm 40 years old, pushing 41. Full-time job, married with 2 kids. You know what I'm saying? I got kids very active in sports and after school activities. I do photography, videography, and I podcast. And I edit. I do all this shit by myself. Studio that I'm in, all this shit, put all this shit together myself. All right. So, and I know that, when you got that job, and I know some people might have a job that they hate, that's why they doing it. Some people got a job they love and they just doing it because they're just good at it and they love it. So I'm more like, my job is straight, but I really really enjoy being in front and behind the camera. And I know that sometimes the demand be a lot, dog. Like me and my buddy, you know what I'm saying, shout out to K Dot Mims, we're Born to Win Media. We got an event this Friday with the Creative House, you know what I'm saying, up Adams Morgan. We're gonna be filming some artists, some rap artists and some R&B artists doing their thing. We're gonna be filming that, you know what I'm saying, doing professional headshots and like tiny desk type music video situation. And that's gonna be a 6, 7, 8 hour day. You know what I'm saying? Then we're gonna go home, edit, you know what I mean, put the videos together. And For me as a person where I don't have that many like gigs. I ain't booked and busy like that, but I do tend to stay on the computer doing some type of editing, doing some type of booking, taking some type of photo, recording some type of video, and shit can get overwhelming. Do all that and still got to handle business at the house. And with that being said, bro, I think that opens the door for bad habits, man, especially eating. I think eating and sleep deprivation, bro, are probably huge for, you know what I'm saying, myself and the folks who also in the same boat. Like, I know that, well, I don't eat as bad anymore, but like there'll be times where, like, if I'm on a photo shoot and it's some all day, like I'm gonna just go grab whatever. Only thing I'm not eating is the only thing I would just refuse to eat is like McDonald's, but I'll eat like a pizza, I'll eat some wings from somewhere, we get some ice cream after. We had some cookies, some junk food in between shoots. Like we'll be eating that shit. And then it's like, boom, now you booked another week. And you're doing the same thing. Now you booked another week. Now you're doing the same thing. And now you up late because you gotta get, the product out. And it's like, I think it's important for us to really like have that balance as best as we can. I think it's really important to just maintain our health. Like, when you in the media space, I'll say the media space. I'm not gonna keep on naming, like, you know what I'm saying, all the different categories of media. When you're in the media space, bro, like, you in an unconventional environment to where like you don't know what you're gonna be doing. You could be sitting down the whole day, you know what I'm saying, with your camera on a tripod. You can be walking back and forth, you know what I'm saying. You could be on your feet the entire time. You can be in a place where you don't have access to no water or food, or too much food, you know what I'm saying, or going late, being out late, and then get home, and then you press for time, and it's important, bro. Like, especially for me, like, once I turn 40, dog, like my health, hey, it's really been an eye opener. I don't had nothing like serious going on, but I just noticed from like 38 to like 40, I started to feel the changes in my body. I started to feel like, like recovery taking, longer time for recovery, like more rest needed, more time to just decompress. I didn't really need all that time. I could, it could be, it's Tuesday night. I can go out on a Tuesday night, be out to 1, 2 in the morning, get back in the crib, you know what I'm saying? Sleep for 4 hours, get up and go to work, be good. Now, shit. Where we going on the weekend? I don't do nothing during the week unless I'm off the next day. And that's the same thing, like when you doing camera work or when you podcast. And like this podcast, bro, like we pushing 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I'll upload, you know what I'm saying? I'll take this, edit this, color grade it, upload it. All that shit take time. And then I still got pizza in the oven for the kids. I still gotta go make salmon burgers for the wife, make a salad. We still gonna watch a little TV. We're gonna watch Married to Medicine, watch my wife's show. We might even get an episode of Paradise in. And now next thing you know, waking up the next day tired. Right. So I think it's important to like definitely just watch that. Watch your health, man. I listen. I done seen some of y'all out here in the media space. I done seen some of y'all behind the scenes. Like I'm putting myself in the boat too. Look, I weigh 220 pounds. I'm 5'11". I weigh 220. I'm solid, but I could definitely come down about 20. Some of y'all out here looking crazy. We looking crazy as a unit, y'all. And I'm just here to tell y'all that we need to, as much time and energy we put into trying to get these gigs and spending days, you know what I'm saying, editing that video to make that shit look real good for you. Like we need to take that time to make sure we putting the right amount of the right food in our body, and we resting. You know what I'm saying? That's it, man. I ain't preaching or nothing like that, but I'm just saying. I'm only whenever I'm on here talking, I'm speaking from experience, all right? And I've seen myself just get carried away. Next thing you know, I'm sitting down wondering why every time I sit down, I gotta loosen my damn belt. Like, nah, nigga, you overweight. Shit. I go to the doctor. I was like, yeah, doc, man, shit. Mouth be dry. He's like, you overweight. He's like, what you doing? What's your time? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like my PlayStation is right behind here. I could easily finish this episode and hop on the game and be on it to 12, 1 o'clock. Nah, man, I need to get some rest. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my message to myself and my creators, man. My creators in the media space, man. Make sure we lock it in on what food we putting in our bodies, man. And make sure we getting plenty of rest, bro. Your brain and all that, your creative juices are only as good as what you put in your body and how much you rest in it. So that's my TED talk, man. You know what I'm saying? And if this conversation, whether it's what I just said or the sports section, or even my good funny Chuck Norris jokes, if any of that stuff resonated with you, man, share it with somebody. If it didn't resonate with you, or you know somebody who it resonates with, share it with them. Say, hey man, look, man, check this dude out, man. He was spitting some real shit today. You know what I'm saying? But this episode 12, man. We're moving right along. And again, if you stayed to the end, we had 30 minutes and 15 seconds. I appreciate y'all once again. Share, subscribe, support, man. Send it to somebody. You know what I'm saying? If you see me on the street, say what's up. All right. This is Captain's Law Podcast. Captain out.